Let me be honest with you right now, and I want you to really listen to this, because most people scroll past the one thing that could actually change how they see themselves. There's a quiet kind of person in this world. They don't shout. They don't perform. They don't chase attention. And yet, every room they walk into feels different when they're there. People feel something around them, but they can't explain what it is. That person might be you. And if it is, this video might be the first time someone has actually put it into words. Psychology has studied human personality for over a century, and what researchers keep finding is this: the rarest personalities aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones who do certain things so naturally, so quietly, that even they don't realize how extraordinary it makes them. So today, we're going to talk about 6 of those things, and I want you to be honest with yourself as we go through them, because this isn't about flattery. This is about awareness. The first thing rare personalities do is they feel deeply, but they don't show it carelessly. There's a big difference between someone who is emotional and someone who is emotionally intelligent. Most people either suppress what they feel completely or they pour it out on anyone nearby. But the rare personality, they feel everything. The joy, the grief, the weight of other people's pain. They feel it fully. But they've learned, often through years of quietly processing things alone, that not every feeling needs an audience. They choose when to show it and who deserves to see it. Psychology calls this emotional regulation, and it's one of the hardest things a human being can master. If you feel things deeply, but you're selective about who you open up to, that's not coldness. That's wisdom. The second thing is they ask questions people don't usually ask. Not to seem interesting, not to impress anyone, but because they are genuinely, almost desperately curious about the inner world of other people. When someone tells them something is fine, they hear the word that's hiding behind fine. When someone explains something casually, the rare personality is already thinking about the why behind it, the motive, the fear, the history. This is a trait rooted in what psychologists call mentalizing, the ability to model another person's mental state. Most people hear words, rare personalities, hear meaning. The third thing, and this one might surprise you, is they are deeply uncomfortable with pretending, not in a dramatic, confrontational way. But on the inside, there is something in them that resists performing. They can do small talk. They can smile at the right moments. But it costs them energy in a way it doesn't cost other people. Because they have a strong internal sense of what's real and what's not. And fake feels like a splinter they can't stop noticing. Psychologists connect this to a high sensitivity to cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of acting in ways that contradict your actual values. If surface-level interaction leaves you feeling oddly exhausted, this is probably why. The fourth thing is, they need solitude the way other people need air. This doesn't mean they're antisocial. It doesn't mean they don't love people. In fact, many of them love deeply and fiercely. But there is a part of them that can only be accessed in silence. They think better alone. They process better alone. They become more themselves when no one is watching. Carl Jung wrote about this. The idea that introversion, at its core, isn't about shyness. It's about where you go to find your energy. And for people with rare personalities, that place is almost always internal. If you've ever felt guilty for needing to be alone, stop. You're not broken. You're just wired differently, and that wiring runs deep. The fifth thing is they notice things others walk right past. A shift in someone's tone, a painting on a wall that doesn't match the room, the way someone laughs a little too quickly to cover something. They notice it all, and they usually don't say anything because they've learned that pointing these things out doesn't always go well. People with this trait score high in what researchers call perceptual sensitivity, a heightened awareness of sensory and social details. It can feel like a burden sometimes because the world is loud and layered when you experience it this way. But it also means they see beauty where others miss it. and they read people in ways that most can't fake or learn. And the sixth thing, the one that ties all of this together, is that they hold contradictions with surprising grace. They can be both confident and deeply insecure, both loving and guarded, both hopeful and realistic. They don't need to resolve every paradox inside themselves because somewhere along the way, they understood that being human means carrying things that don't fully make sense. Psychology refers to this capacity as integrative complexity, the ability to hold multiple conflicting ideas without needing a clean answer. It's rare, and it's the mark of a mind that has done serious inner work, whether consciously or not. Now here's what I want you to take from this, not as a checklist, not as a label, but as a mirror. If you recognized yourself in even 3 or 4 of these things, it means you move through the world in a way that most people find hard to describe, but impossible to forget. It doesn't make life easier. If anything, it makes certain things harder. The loneliness of feeling misunderstood, the exhaustion of a world that often rewards performance over depth. But it also means you are capable of a kind of connection, a kind of perception, and a kind of presence that the world genuinely needs more of. The rarest personalities aren't rare because they're perfect. They're rare because they refused, maybe without even realizing it, to become someone they're not. And that quiet, stubborn authenticity is worth more than almost anything else a person can have. If this hits something real in you, stay with that feeling for a moment, because that feeling, that recognition, is itself a sign.